That should take care of it. I'm assuming. Let's see. So I put that in there last night. But I guess I put it in on the YouTube side. Spooky cave sounds. I don't know where the spooky cave sounds are coming from. I thought it shouldn't be any spooky cave sounds. Noise suppression. I need to add this filter. That's your end? All right, we put noise suppression on, so that'll take care of the background noise a little bit. I was like, I know I don't have any spooky cave sounds running. So this is all stuff that I'm just adding, but I mean, if we're being honest, it doesn't matter. This is just here for having something on the street other than just this stupid bathhouse that we're not a hyper fan of. So that's why I really don't care that much what it looks like, but you know. Halo 3. Now, are you doing it taking advantage of Game Pass, or did you have to buy it? Yeah, I've had the Master Chief Collection. Oh, I'd say since Xbox One came out. I think a long time ago, we even streamed through all of the Halo games. I hate when you have to do it that way. You have to like drop a random chunk over there to make it work. grid down so we can make sure we clicked it properly. I mean, these buildings aren't going to be especially interesting, but it is what it is. I hate when it does that. And I tell you what, the Streamlabs chatbot is a little bit annoying. It won't shut up. So I'm going to have to make some adjustments there. Oh crap, I've got two of them going at the same time. Look at that shit. It's like competing bots. That's why it's so annoying. They're vying for attention. So, you know, they're triggering each other. Let me turn off the Stream Elements bot. No, I haven't seen that. Ah. So I moved away from using Streamlabs OBS, I guess about a year ago. Um, yeah, I've seen two chatbots like making Google and Alexa start gabbing with each other. That's always funny. Chatbot. Timers. Wonder if there's just a general turn these fucking things off. There we go. So let's turn the stream elements one off. That's done. So we won't have these guys going, wait, that triggered, so that means I can talk, and now I can talk. And we're leaving Jellie Cam on all the time because I've still got to figure out how to get it to trigger properly using channel points in Streamlabs OBS. I did a little research and there is a way to do it. I just don't have it set up yet. I used to use, there's a thing called Leorin board, and it worked pretty well, but yeah, it's just another thing you got to remember to have up. All right, so let's put a roof on this building. We'll call that one done. We're not going to put the tavern roof. What do we want to put on there? We haven't used the rural roof. Wonder how that looks. Honestly, I think it probably looks better than the tavern roof. Let's see what else we have. We used the Morgoth roof on our neighbor. I know we won't use this. Castle doesn't have a roof. Silly place. Let's see what the rural roof looks like. And I think I need to adjust my timers on that. Man, gotta fuck with the timers on that one too. It's been a while since I set that thing up. Can we adjust it here? Yes, we can. Let's edit these. There we go. They should stop now. that going to work there? Looks like it. Spin this. So that should drop there. That should drop there. I tell you what, I'm rarely ever enamored with any of these roofs. I mean, it's just the way it is. But we did want to try something different. Because why the hell not? That gonna work? Or is it too high? Oh, it's offset, but it will work. All right, so we'll call that one done. And we could, if we really cared, we could like and we could do this, pop off that. Is there... And we can go in here. There. Put 2x1 in there. And then put that in there. Give it the look of a fireplace. Being somewhere in the building. Because why not? Then we need some cobblestones down here on the street. Or a pathway going in. I think we'll go with the cobble. Because why the hell not? So we need to lose that. And that. there, and there. Then we need nature again, right? For a little bit of 1x1 grass. All right, so there's a neighboring building. Like I said, we're not going to worry that much about these things. I just want something here to indicate that they have neighbors. This isn't a barren street. It looks like this bathhouse is kind of on the corner building. The issue we're going to have here is the road. There should be a road going off like this, right? But there's not. So it should be going, this here, and then there should be a breakaway. Man, it would be really nice if we had the ability to do some angled stuff. But what we will probably do is maybe lay the cobblestones down. And then create the appearance of an angled road by putting stuff on top of it. I think that's our only option. All right, so let's go with some Morgoth walls here. Ooh, you know what I think I want to do? Just for the hell of it, or for the halibut. Let's do that. Give it that rounded appearance on the front. And then let's go there. Let's place a double door there. So I had to chuckle. My my son, he swore he didn't want to take the train to school. I mean, near where he lives, there's a basically a light rail. And he was driving going down into the city like that just fucking sucks. And I told him that, but he wouldn't listen. So he gets a free train pass with his tuition that somebody else is paying for. And he also gets a free parking permit at, the train station and stuff like that. So he got that all taken care of. Now he can just, drive 5 minutes to his house, park at the train station, ride the train into school, and relax on his way instead of stressing over, having to deal with rush hour traffic. And I got to talk to him. I didn't talk to him yesterday. I wanted to see how the train went yesterday. So we'll have to talk to him tonight and say, so how did that train go? And he's taken. Thing is, we used to go down to Dallas Stars games, watch hockey. A lot of times we would take the train because it's so much easier. The train came up right behind the arena down there. Um, Went right up close to home. I drove like 10 minutes. You'd park there, go down. No hassle in the city with parking and all that kind of stuff. Just park for free at the rail station and you go. And I never understand the logic that goes on in these kids' heads when they're like, "Nah, I don't want to do that." No, it's like, come on, seriously? You don't want to hit the easy button? Who doesn't want to hit the fucking easy button? Now, I can semi understand it right now because of COVIDiots running around, right? You got a lot of idiots in COVID denial and, anti-maskers on the train and stuff. Even though I know that around here, they still require, when you're using public transit, you're supposed to wear a mask. But, who knows if they're enforcing that shit. Since, I live in a state where it's like the land of morons. We're going to do this as a one-story building. Corner piece. There we go. Keep grabbing what I think is a window, but it's not. I wonder what this is going to do to our roof. I think we're going to put a flat roof here. Because why the hell not? It's my damn building. I can make a flat roof if I want. Ooh, you know what we could do there? Watch. I can put a little overhang to protect the door. Why not? Oh. There we go. Let's do something to make the building just a little more interesting, I guess. I think we'll do the exact same thing we did with the roof here that we did on the bottom. All right. What did we lay down here? This was some rural flooring, I think. If there's any way to clean that up a little bit. So we can't even partially do that like that. What we could do is that. And then do that. That'll create a window effect once we have our door and stuff in. Damn it. Why does it do that? You know, it's acting like it's going to go on this side. Do I have to do it this way? Guess I do. Doesn't make a lot of sense with it pointing out. See if I do that. That's when it makes sense. But no, it doesn't. So maybe do that. See, and I just don't really like that floor the way it faces out. We can save a lot of time doing this individually. Do insist that my doors swing inward. This is just going to be another one-story building. Take a look. See how we want to put the roof on this. I wonder what this would look like. Go like that. That. May not look good, but let's see. There's our grid. Assuming that this wants to go here. I'm not enamored with that. Sounds like almost a well-rounded party. Does that work? That works. Yeah, that's I think I was talking about this yesterday. That's when you have to remind your players, just because they bought a set of thieves tools doesn't mean that they can unlock a lock. If they don't have a background that gives them proficiency, I don't let people just unlock locks. I just don't. Um, if they don't have proficiency in background or based on class, they're not opening that motherfucking lock, no matter how hard they try. Um, and I've been known to walk up and well, the paladin can never be sneaky. He's always going to be at motherfucking disadvantage, right? So he's screwed when he's like, I sneak. It's like, all right, roll at disadvantage. Why? Because you're wearing all that fucking armor and you can't sneak. When you have to explain these things to people is what drives me nuts. But you'll have to explain that to them, and then they'll be like, oh, I didn't think of that. But the other thing, if they have no proficiency, buying a set of thieves tools doesn't automatically give you the ability to open a lock. And or just having them in your hands doesn't do it. And that's why I used to carry lockpicks with me when I'd go, because well, I mean, I usually have a portable set of lockpicks in my pocket too. Um, but I would hand that and a padlock to somebody and say, if you can open it, your character can open it. And they couldn't open it. And I'd be like, there you go. You bought those things. You're not proficient. You can't open the fucking lock. Um, I mean, I know it's not the kindest way to DM, but I don't automatically assume that everybody can do everything because they can't. Oh, you know what? So when 2 years ago we were up, I had to go up to my mom's house, and there was a lock in the house that we didn't have a key for. It wouldn't work. Um, Client lost their keys, and if I would have had my picks, I could have gotten into it. But you can't travel in planes with that kind of shit. So I had to have a locksmith come in, and he took longer to pick it than I would have. Like I said, I always used to carry a set with me. And then I had one that folded out like a pocket knife that I kept in my pocket. And those things came in handy a few times. Not for any criminal activities, but, you know, idiots locking themselves out. It's like I used to carry a slim set of Slim Jims in my car because I used to repo cars, and sometimes you had to break into them. And because something would get screwed up, they give you a wrong key code, so the key you cut doesn't work or shit like that. So there's always some bullshit. But I used to carry those, and a few times, somebody locked their baby in the car, and I'm like, all right, I'll take care of it. I'm going to call the police to take care of it. I'm like, yeah, they'll come and they'll spend 30 minutes trying to get it out, and your kid will be fucking dead in the Texas heat. Do you want me to let your kid out or not? Yes, please. So I fucking unlocked the car. As you can tell, I'm not always very patient with people. You know, there's no time to be patient in a crisis. Something has to be done immediately. It has to be fucking done immediately. This shitty little house is going to have like the widest walkway coming in. It's going to be funny. Oh, yeah. I don't have any patience for that kind of shit. All right, so there's our street. Now we need to do this little pathway here. So I guess let's cut the road out on this angle. And we're going to do something between these diagonals here to close that in. But we're going to, let's do this. So we're going to cobble this in. We set it too high. And I admit, children didn't teach me patience either. If anything, it hurt my level of patience. All right, so what we need is something going down here, and we're probably going to put a little garden zone there and maybe there. But let's figure out how we're going to cut this road. We need another piece chopped out there. And there. So it needs to go like that. So we're going to have to get creative here. And we're not feeling creative today. Let's be blunt. What is she barking at? Give me a second. All right, so how do we want to block this off? Hmm. What is this? See if this works. All right, so I mean, it's not going to be beautiful, but it's going to lay out our fucking path, right? And that's what we need. I mean, if we had something that was along the lines of like a straight line of Nerd Central. How's it going? Thank you for the raid. We're just messing around with these diagonal freaking streets that are gonna drive me nuts. That's my wish in this program. Diagonals. Diagonals would make me so happy, but I will probably never be happy. So yeah. So we're gonna lay down like a little garden path cutting over this way. That's how we're gonna do it. And this might work. It might not work. But like I said, this is a test map. So there are worse things than this not working. We're just playing around right now. And hopefully, as time goes on, we'll get better with this shit. I wonder, how big is this rock? It's not really the right color either. I was going to see if we could lay like a line of rocks along there. But I don't think that's a thing. So, miscellaneous exterior. Let's look at... Oh. See, they fool us with that. I look at it and I'm like, oh, it's going to be like a gray tombstone. We could do that. No, it's not. It's not going to work. So I guess what we'll do is along this line, we'll set up what I was planning to do, like a garden path, plants. I'm not super keen on what let's see how this looks. So I guess what we'll do is sync this, bring it over kind of like that. Be nice if they gave us like more than one bush. I know that's probably asking for slightly too much. One can dream. And I just saw the wife going out the door. And like I called her real quick to say, you know, what's going on. And my daughter is at college. Fortunately, it's like 5 minutes away having a fucking panic attack. So she's going to pick her up, and then I'll have to take her back up when it's time to go back to class. And we'll do something with these bushes to break it up a little bit. Add some other plants on them. And we'll do same thing along here. All right, so that'll get us our path. It's not perfectly straight, but it'll work. Now we'll need to do something to cover up those tiles. I mean, I know we could have left it like that, but can't have those spikes sticking out. That will bother me. No, it would be awesome if it had like the randomizer built in, like they have on Dungeon Draft, where it spins and resizes stuff. That would be a thing of beauty. I have an idea. I'm not sure this is going to work. Dungeon Draft is some awesome, cool software. I love me some Dungeon Draft. And we'll get back to doing some more Dungeon Draft maps because I'm going to need those also for my campaigns. All right. So that cuts it down a little bit. Then we just need to get rid of these little corners. And that gives us a diagonal path. And we'll garden this out and we'll do what we can to make it look nice. But like I said, I can't stand the little corners sticking out. That will bother me to no end. Don't start, young man. Be a good boy. Yes, I am calling you a bad boy. You can't believe it. Ooh. Could we straighten this up that way? Just how much of this can we get below ground? So we could kind of go like that, right? Then we'll do some planting there. I don't know why I'm really worried about that because we're going to try to cover most of that crap up. But far down can we get it and still have some show up? So we could go like that. Right? Yeah, I mean with 2D mapping programs, I've messed with a lot of them, and Dungeon Draft is really nice. Real simple. I mean, biggest selling point for me is bringing line of sight over directly into your maps. If you're using something like Foundry to run your games. I really want to see how this improves as far as being able to run games on it. Um, I mean, I've watched a few games run, and it does an okay job, but you know, you've got to have something, and some of it is trust issues with players. Let's be blunt here. I need something so that I can see their dice rolls. If I can't see the dice rolls, then that doesn't work for me. I've had too many. I've just had too many players that sit there and roll and like magic hide and spin so that it rolls to a 20 or a hit, or where the odds are you can't hit that many times in a fucking night. I had one guy that would literally cover his dice and you'd see him going like this behind his hand. Then he'd go like that. I'm like, roll it out. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, just roll it the fuck out. And he'd try to do it again. I'm like, roll it out or it's an automatic one. So, he didn't like that. The fact that I wouldn't let him cheat. And he left. So, too bad. So sad. That was a jackass that didn't need to be playing at anybody's table there. I've always told my players, roll it out, let it roll out there in the middle of the table, and see the video of Talespire. No, I did not. As long as they do that, roll it out on the table, there's no problem. I mean, it was something like this. Players are going to complain because they don't understand how randomizers work. I've had that happen with Foundry, where they're like, "Oh my god, this thing rolls horribly," and it's like, no, it's a randomizer. If you roll enough times, it'll roll exactly what it should. You're having a bad night, just like sometimes you have an awesome night when you're playing at the table, and other times you have a shitty night when you're playing at the table. It's randomization, and most of these things do a really good job with randomization. Just leaning on the memes. All right, so that gets us our diagonal roadway. We need to do something to liven this up a little bit. Need to do something about the exterior out here and in between. Plus, we need to break up the monotony of this grass. Now, I don't think I'm going to worry about placing some random buildings here on this side of the street. And this is the only building the players are going to be going into, right there. But I can't have this just sitting here with, you know, big open space. So we created a little bit of a street, a little bit of a pathway. We may even, I don't know, maybe we'll leave this way for now and come back to this because there's other stuff I want to mess with. Um, as let's take one more look. I mean, there's the bathhouse. Let's strip away the roof. There's our bathhouse inside. Then we'll strip away all this other stuff. There's the dungeon below. Fully decorated and flooded the way it should be. Let's get rid of that dwarf down there. We put him in for reference for the water level because the water level is supposed to be like 2 feet. So there we go. We'll kill the dwarf. Now the only thing we didn't have for parts of the dungeon, this room's supposed to have like entrails and stuff on there. We don't have it, and that's fine. You use your words. I'm big on saying use your words on the map. These are the cultists waiting to kill anybody that comes in because they're taking a nap on the floor. They're pretending to be dead, and that's supposed to be a torch sitting on the floor. And then we have all the rest of this dungeon laid out. And we're not unhappy with it. So it's playable. It'll work. Please add entrails. Exactly. Entrails and real corpses, not just skeletons. Some corpses would be really nice. I mean, technically, we could take miniatures, throw them on their side, turn them into props, right? But then it could be like the miniature somebody wants to use to play. Oh, where's Thor? He hates when the camera's on him. So we'll see how long he stays there. But overall, it works. I wanted to see how it worked building a 2-level map. It did a pretty good job. Actually, this one's multi-tiered because you've got stuff up here, and then you've got, the flooded tiers and stuff like that. That's why I wanted to mess with this map a little bit. We're going to call this one mostly done except for some decorating. And, we'll need to start working on our actual facing and stuff on buildings to make it look nicer. But, you know what? It works. So let's exit out of this one. This one we're going to have to probably totally destroy And I don't think, I'll be honest, I don't think I'm going to remap these things for this. I will probably never run Mad Mage again because it's just like the never-ending game. But this was me just messing with laying out, seeing what we could do. Diagonal walls would be the biggest on the wish list. Something where, because this is supposed to actually have a wall going from corner to corner, corner to corner. Same thing here, same thing here. Diagonal walls would be awesome. Now, I mean, we could kind of put that in, but then it would be a matter of it would not look, the walls wouldn't be consistent. I think it's what, cavern, where it has a wall that's on an angle. So I mean, you could run that there and there. But this is it's a constructed dungeon, so it wouldn't make sense to have these cave-like walls in there. And I don't think, see, I don't think there are any walls or anything here that we can drop to create that either. So, some things are just not a thing. Just checking the time. So now I have to take my daughter back to school when her next class starts. Let's see when that is. See, she has a gap from noon. No, from 9:45 until 1. Yeah, it's one of those things. When we had gaps like that in school, we sat there, went to the library, studied during that interim, then we didn't have to do it at night. And you always had gaps. All right, and quick reminder. Tomorrow we will be streaming on YouTube for the day off Twitch thing. There's the channel. Hit it, sub it, get your notifications, and we'll be on there tomorrow streaming. Tomorrow we might be, come on, we might be working on our next dungeon draft maps. We might go in and do this. We'll see what we feel like doing. See, Thor's being mobile. He knows what we're doing. Don't ya? He's like, I don't like this. All right, so let's see. Let's go to Lost Mines. So we set this up, and said we're setting most of these up so they're set in a box. That way I can drop stuff below the ground. Nobody will see it. So the first thing you run into here is the Goblin Ambush. Now, naturally, they don't give a reference map, but you know what? You can figure out what you want it to look like. This was me kind of experimenting with the layout and the rocks and stuff, but let's see. So you're on the trail for about a half days, come around a bend, you spot 2 dead horses sprawled about 50 feet ahead of you. We're probably going to put, so let's take a look here. These are 10-foot square, so 5, 10, 15, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. We could turn this into like a bend and have them come across that way. This will have steep embankments and dense thickets on either side. So we can modify, you're thinking sturges and giant wolf spiders. Sturges are always a pain in the ass, especially when they lock on. So I'm thinking we're going to create our little bend here. All right. Why is it not opening? I think I got to restart it. She's about to crash or do something stupid. So let's do that. So are you being whiny? Nobody's going to give you anything to eat out there. If somebody's eating, they're not going to say, here, have a pastrami sandwich. It doesn't work like that. No, it never works like that. Never. He's looking at me like, it could happen. No, it's not going to happen. It's just not. It's just not, little boy. Might give him a bite. What are you doing? Just lay down and relax. Nobody's going to give you something. No, it's not good for you. Don't do it. He says it is good for me. There we go. All right. And I kind of like this for the road. So we need to get this to work its way in there. That kind of gives us the indication of a bend in the road. This kind of, I'd say that's a little bit better. Not massively, but a little bit. We're going to end up coming in and tearing out some of these if it's not covered. But I think that takes care of our bend. They'll come around. We're going to put a shit ton of trees and stuff here. We'll go ahead and along here, create the and we don't have a problem taking that off because we were, again, messing around. So they're coming down the road. They're turning. We're going to line this with trees. They come around the bend and then 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Right here will be where the dead things are. But now we can start laying in what we need to. So I guess the first thing we'll do is build up our little zone here. think we're going to have this kind of set back a little bit. We'll end up pulling a bunch of stuff in. Going to move. You can see him. If I move, it's going to mean trouble. He'll be a shy boy. I switched my streaming software. So right now I don't have it, so it stays up. Plus tomorrow, we're doing the day off Twitch thing because of all the bullshit happening on Twitch. So we're gonna stream to YouTube. On our channel there. So we pulled in Streamlabs OBS. Before I wasn't a real fan of it, having my old computer that didn't really like it. But the new computer with the R9 and all the memory and stuff doesn't get fucked by Streamlabs OBS. So I figured we could go ahead and set up and run there. That's a difference having a processor that isn't 8 years old and struggling to get shit done. I mean, I'm not going to complain about the FX 8350. It's served me well for a long time. Some serious digging. That's what Tessa does that shit. She does some other shit. She ate through. She's lucky she didn't get electrocuted. But she was in here when the wife and I were in here playing Elder Scrolls Online this weekend. And you know how a lot of times when you buy those things on the cables, they'll have these cable wraps. But the cable wrap on um, the original cord for my Google Home was like a rubber thing that stuck out. And when I ran the cable, it was just hanging out. Now I had this all under the dog bed. Well, she gets under the dog bed that's over there and starts chewing on, that strap that's sticking out. And then got down to the end and kind of bit through the electrical cord. So I went over and I kind of heard this bzz, 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 and I look and that stuff's chewed up. I pull it out, and as I move the thing, it's like sparking. So I unplugged it and I'm like, God damn it. And had to buy a new cable to be able to have the Google Home running properly or running at all. Tessa is the definition of trouble. Yeah, you look up trouble and there's probably a big ass picture of her. She is badness. And you know what we never said about Jelly? That she was bad. You know why? Because Jelly was never bad. And I dare anybody to say Jelly was ever bad. Because it's all lies. That Jelly was perfect. We still miss our Jelly Belly. I forget what I was doing the other day, but started thinking about some stupid shit that she used to do. Made Dad sad and smile all at the same time. I feel like some of these rocks kind of have snow or something on them. But we switched up our little follow animation and stuff like that in here too. It's just something that I liked. Let's see if we can pop a test. So that's our new follow. I thought it was amusing. Yeah, those are snowy rocks, aren't they? I need to get rid of those. I didn't realize that when I was laying it down. Cool. I assume everything went well and you built it up. I also assume since it's Tai Chi, did they not do a fight portion when you have to do the test? Yeah, we always had to do that. That and breaking. It's funny because it was always the breaking that the students would be the most terrified of. I even had kids that fucking quit because they were terrified of doing the break. On this side, I'll do a solid wall across. So let's build it up. Or are you hiding from the camera? There we go. He can try, but he can't hide. He's over there licking. It's probably the best way to build it up is to do it like this. And then start laying stuff on it. So I think what I'm going to do, I know we spent a little bit of time doing this, but we'll live. Let's get rid of most of that. We'll do the same thing over there. Build it up that way. I think on this side, we're going to leave some room for some shrubbery. Did we go too far there? Yeah, we did. See that? We put the camera on Thor and he said, nope, nope. Guess what? There we go. He's always been a shy boy. Jelly loved the camera. She's my little attention whore. All right, so that'll set up a little bit better for throwing the rocks and stuff down. And we're gonna, I think what we'll do is have it kind of come up here and around, and then we can have some trees and stuff over there. We want to block any line of sight coming in down this road before they see what's happened over here. So let's take it up one more level here. All right. My wife had picked up my daughter from school because my daughter was having a anxiety attack. Now she's like still now she's nauseous and not going back for her 1 o'clock class. But I have to take her for her lab at 2:30 or 2:30 hopefully. See, they get mad at me because, I don't really comprehend anxiety attacks. I you know, I don't let anything get to me. All right, so I think that'll make it easier to build these levels up now. So I kind of look at it like if I had anxiety attacks and stuff, I probably wouldn't have survived some of the stuff that I survived. See, with me, if something happens that would trigger an anxiety attack in like my wife or daughter, the way my brain works is everything just fucking slows down, and I just like trigger in and lock in on whatever's happening. If you know what I mean. I think the funniest thing that ever happened, where it was one of the first times that like that happened with me, was we're driving back, and I'm doing like 90 miles an hour on the fucking road. We're driving across 695 over in Catonsville, doing like 90. And the back tire, the entire wheel and everything, comes off of my vehicle. And, things start going like this. Everything fucking slowed down. I started doing what I needed to do. And I even reached over and turned the radio off in the middle of all of this shit happening so that I could concentrate even more. The guys in the car, they're freaking out. Ah! They look back and they see the fucking wheel going right by us. Um, and I calmly got it under control, pulled it over into the fucking emergency lane to the right. I get out of the car and my tire, which just made it even funnier, but my tire's sitting over in the third lane. And I'm like, I got to get that tire. And the guys are still over there. They're like freaking out, losing their shit. And they're just losing their shit. And all of a sudden, the car goes by, bumps the tire, it kicks up, rolls over, and like rolled up right beside me, and then falls back down. It was the dumbest, craziest day of my life. But, ever since then, anything that happens that would trigger anything, and like my wife has anxiety attacks and stuff like that, my daughter does, all these things, that would trigger stuff in them, I just calm down, you know. And then my other reaction to things is, not getting depressed, but instead, you know, being angry. So, those are my two reactions to things. See, I know that would create a severe panic attack in both of the women in my life. And any times that anything horrible has happened or needed a steady head at the time, they go into panic attack mode. And you know I just have to be the one who's being calm through all of it. See, I just get angry. So I think the first thing we need to do is, where did that show up? That's crazy. So that must have been over on YouTube because I need to go ban a motherfucker. Yeah, that must have been a YouTube follow. I didn't pay attention to it. I mean, seriously, if somebody's going to name it, whatever their name is, hate raids. I mean, if you want to hate raid me, go for it. It's not like I will ever give a fuck. Oh, that was here. I guess they went away. There we go. Done. Thor just keeps moving. Where'd he go now? Who else can we pick on? Oh, look at that. Both boys. You can't really tell, but Loki's back behind the tripod there. It's kind of funny. And then I'm thinking what we're going to do. So now we just need to start laying in the topography up here. Create a ridge line on both sides where the goblins can sit there and go fop, 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 and shoot with their arrows. How many goblins are there and how much room do we need for goblins? I guess that's what we need to know. Let's take a look. All right. Now back to nature and some rocks. Yeah, the tire thing, that was like one of the funniest things that ever happened. At least I thought so. I tell you know what caused that? I had work done on the car. I needed some new tires put on. And guess what they didn't do? They didn't bother tightening the lugs, which is a little bit of a problem. You know, they were able to put new lugs on, nothing was stripped, everything was fine. They just didn't bother tightening the motherfucking lugs. Like, that's kind of important. When you're putting new tires on a vehicle, it's one of the first things you do. Tighten the motherfucking lugs. Didn't screw it in. It only takes a second, so it goes, it does that little jumping. That's how you make sure it's screwed in properly. Hopefully, it gave him hell over that. That's just a case of laziness. I can't spend a half of an extra second to make sure shit works. That's the kind of stuff that makes dad mad. Got distracted by a squirrel. Squirrel! Dad doesn't do well with mistakes like that. I'm not forgiving. That's stuff that'll get somebody killed. The tire thing, not the gas cap thing. Well, unless you're like really psycho and you'll kill somebody because they didn't screw your gas cap in, and maybe it will get somebody killed. I don't know. There you go. So you probably handled it nicer than I would have. So good job. I don't know. How's that looking? We have, we have limited rock resources. If we wanted to do snowy rocks, and we have 2 resources, but we don't want to do snowy rocks, so we have basically 1 resource and maybe some of this shit to throw in. So we'll have to put some stuff up top so that to break up this. I mean, we're enjoying this program. I'll admit it. And I think we're going to end up we we are going to end up running a game using this just for the hell of it, for the halibut. So we're going to experiment with barbecue tomorrow, and I will put pictures up on Instagram. But I got Sam's always has like big packs of chuck roast, right? And right now brisket's gone fucking insane. For me to get a brisket where it used to be like $35 for a big ass brisket. Yep, for the halibut. Um, Now it's like 80 to $100 to get a big ass brisket to cook at home, and that's pissing me off. So I got 2 chuck roasts, big motherfuckers, for like $30, and I'm gonna smoke those tomorrow. We're gonna see how that turns out. I think it's gonna end up being good. I always, once a year, which I didn't do it this year, I'll make sour beef, sour beef and dumplings. I don't know if you've ever gone to what's that place over on Bel Air Road? It's like something mining company. It's a restaurant over there. They've got actually pretty decent sour beef. I had that when I was up there when my mom was, well, actually, after she passed, when the wife came up, we went and got sour beef because I'm like, she's like, we can do whatever you want. I'm like, okay, we're going to go get sour beef. She was probably like, oh, I wish I hadn't said you can do whatever you want because she doesn't really like sour beef. But yes, Silver Spring Mining Company. But they've got surprisingly good sour beef. You like their fried pickles? If you dig sour beef, I would try it. If you don't, then don't try it because it still just tastes like sour beef. I used to make it every year for New Year's Day, and the issue with making that is it is a serious time sink commitment. I mean, if you do it right, the biggest time sink on that is the dumplings. I mean, you can do traditional German dumplings where, they're like drop dumplings and they're really doughy and everything. The ones that they make over at Silver Spring Mining Company are like the ones that I make, where they're like potato dumplings and they're actually pretty good. Um, Now, I've never been a real fan of the traditional ones. Trying to figure out how I don't want to have same pieces facing forward. But yeah, when I make those dumplings, it's like an all day ordeal. Yeah, the dough balls and the real German dough balls, it's just like the squishy dough balls, and then they would put a crouton in the middle, and it's like no. This ridge line's going to take forever plus a day. I mean, I know I'll end up having a massive heart attack because of my the level of meat that I ingest. But you know what? I'm going to go doing what I love. And that's the way it should be. Exactly. Thor's been very angry with me. I mean, I don't know if you remember, but for a while when Icy was sick, I was making um, beef and stuff for the dogs because she wouldn't take her heart pills and her pain medication unless we would wrap it in meat. So every week when I would do, one of smoke something, um, I would also, smoke a roast for the pups. And, I stopped doing that. And Thor is really mad. And on the weeks that I was lazy, I would go out and get like a turkey breast that was already prepared and throw that on the slicer. And I've stopped doing that. The turkey I had to stop. It was Loki was actually having like bathroom problems. So, I couldn't give some of them turkey and leave him out because, that would just be mean. And so Thor's been excruciatingly unhappy with the turn of events now. I know. It is very difficult for them. We'll throw some bushes and stuff on that. Yes, my dogs have a very rough life. And you know my stance on that. They don't get to live that long. They might as well be happy and enjoy their life while they're here. And I think they agree with that philosophy. Loki just snuffed. He says he agrees, and he wants the turkey, even if it does give him problems. He's like, I'm not the one that has to clean it up out there. I'm fine with it. I just don't like when they're out there like struggling for 20 minutes. It's like, you know what? This isn't doing you any good, buddy. And they're like, you know what? You need to shut the fuck up and give me more turkey. All right, so that gets that ridge line done, right? We can throw some other random other rocks in there. I will work on this ridgeline. Might leave this flat there. And maybe have this jutting out. Kind of like that. Give them a place to hide. I think that's a good idea. I give one place where they can. We'll put the horses right here. I mean, got to make a nice ambush spot right there. It's kind of funny. We've been rewatching Dexter, and it is what's the new Dexter coming out like in November. And before I knew that was coming out, I was just like, you know what, we're kind of out of stuff to watch. I feel like watching Dexter again. And we get to season 4, where Rita gets killed by the Trinity guy at the end. And you never watched it? Well, I'm gonna kind of I'll tell this one part. So the Trinity killer ends up. It's like one of the last scenes, but Rita, Dexter's wife, he married her, has a kid with her, and he kind of adopted the two kids. And my wife's like, you know what? I don't want to watch that last show when Rita gets killed. It makes me sad. Well, we're rewatching the series, and Rita is this hyper passive aggressive manipulative character. And by the time it got to the part where we get to that episode, I said, if you want, I can just watch it, and you go ahead, and I'll tell you, I'll 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 watch it on my own, and we'll watch the next season start. She goes, no, that's okay. She'd gotten so tired of the passive aggressive manipulative bitch that she forgot that character was, that she didn't give a shit she got killed. So that was kind of hilarious. The old X-Men cartoon. Yeah, I think that was one of the funniest turnarounds where their wife's like, "Yeah, I can't watch that again." To, "Yeah, I've had enough of her. That's fine." So I think the rest of this up top, after we clean up a little bit here. All right, so let's break up this top a little bit. Yeah, Dexter's a definite worthwhile watch though. See, that looks like it's got snow on it too. What is up with that? I I generally don't like crime type shows like that, but this is not in the same mold as most of those shows, if you know what I mean. These are kind of sandstone. We need to lose that. Doesn't really fit in. That won't make him want to watch it. Just tell him it shows him some alternate uses for duct tape. All right, so I think that's our ridge line. So at this point, they would coming along here. Make that turn. Come down along there. We'll put some other stuff here to block it. Dead horses, goblins, and death. All right, so now we need to put some trees and stuff in to really help block it off. I think I do want to add a little bit more there. So I want to break out those pieces of grass. You want to block the line of sight here a little bit more. We can have a couple of goblins there, unseen. All right. Plants. Let's start with trees. God damn it. Is there not a way to resize these? Let's take a look. Really? That didn't work? It's not a way to make these line up. Well, damn it. Is there a trunk for that one? A lot of different tree trunks here. Yeah, that doesn't match that, does it? At all. taking a look to see which trunks look like they might work. And we need a base. That's not this one. Let's see what time it is. Keep forgetting right click and left click, then we'll bring it right to the level you want to work at. You can throw a random dead tree up here. So we've got our curve there. We've got our ambush zone here. And we just need to work on adding these trees so it further blocks our line of sight coming in. See, from right here, they won't be able to see coming in. They'll get to there, and they get shot in the face. We might, tell you what, we might put some extra rock up here. In fact, we are going to do that. Come down here. They won't see these guys up here till it's just about too late. We want it to be absolutely too late. It's an ambush. And they're goblins. They should die very easily. Right there. Blam and blam. Should have our little choke point. And we're good. All right, so we have that part built up. We'll figure out what we're going to do with the trees and everything tomorrow. Again, tomorrow we're going to be on our YouTube channel. Put it up one more time. So if you haven't done it, oh, come on. Oh, I actually typed it. Go on over there, hit the follow/subscribe, since following and subscribing are not the same thing on both platforms. And you'll get notified when we get on. And we're going to work on building out this forest. I'm going to do a little bit of research to see about whether or not we can resize trees and stuff before I start really working on the trees and get annoyed because everything looks the same. And then we'll figure out what we'll build next. But tomorrow we'll finish this map off, hopefully. We have a nice little ambush zone set up. But we really want to do everything we can to block our line of sight going over there. So again, thanks everybody for watching. We're going to go ahead and... what time do I have to get her there? 2:30. I think I'm going to eat some lunch. I'm going to eat that pastrami sandwich I talked about. Because I kind of want it now. So I'm going to go eat something and then get ready to take her back to school so she can do her lab work. But I think it's not looking bad right now. We're not unhappy with it. We'll probably put some plant life up on top here to cover up some of the repetitive nature of these double stones. But I think it'll work. I think it looks pretty okie dokie. So thanks for watching, everybody. We will be on tomorrow again on YouTube, normal time. Let me see. I have to keep looking at this schedule. Yeah, she gets in. I take her at 11 and pick her up at 3:45. So we'll be on a little bit after 11. So everybody have a great day. We'll catch you next time.